All right, well, let me welcome everyone. My name's Susan Hanrahan. I'm the Dean of the College of Nursing and Health Professions, and I want to welcome you here today for our ribbon cutting for this facility. I've got a lot of people that I want to introduce, but let me first note that I am not Dr. Debbie Purcell, and Debbie is actually the one who's been the spearhead of all of this from the inception. Debbie stepped out onto her patio on Saturday morning. She has grandchildren and they have toys, and I probably don't need to say anymore, but she actually stepped on one of these metal toys and fractured her foot. So she's non-weight bearing, which kind of precluded her from travel, and so I'm your substitute, as somebody said, your secondary responder today to fit the deal. We have Chairman Caldwell here today. I think Senator Johnson's coming. I haven't seen him yet. He could be in the field. Representative Kavanaugh, Judge Thomason, Mayor Jones, and then our Chancellor Danfus, and there's lots of other distinguished guests, and I'll try to be sure and mention as many as I can for those that I've got to meet. But I do want to thank Debbie today for all of her work. She had the vision. She's the one. This would not have happened without her persistence and vision. So I really want us to think about her today, because this really is kind of a part of the learning facilities that we're going to continue to try to build, not only on this property, but in Walnut Ridge as well. This facility is specifically designed to provide multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary education and training for any community that might need it in disaster preparedness and emergency management. It's dedicated to improving the preparedness and the response to those disasters that impact all of us on a day-to-day basis, as well as those that threaten our national security. This could not be accomplished without the support and participation of many individuals and agencies. So first today, I want to introduce Chancellor Kelly Danfus to the podium. He's going to bring his welcome and make remarks on behalf of our university. Chancellor Danfus.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean Hanran. And thank you all for being here. On behalf of Arkansas State University, I want to welcome you all here. And Dean Hanrahan, I want to thank you especially, and Dr. Purcell, for your commitment to this project. At Arkansas State University, we say that educating leaders is one of our core principles. And since 2005, the Regional Center for Disaster Preparedness Education has worked hand in hand with local agencies to provide that kind of education. With our bachelor's and master's degree programs and community projects like this disaster facility, we are educating the next generation of leaders in this vital service area for our cities, our towns, our counties, and our communities. Today, we celebrate the construction of this pavilion that we're standing underneath it, and so thankful for the shade that it's providing. This is the opening phase of this training area. This is much more than a training facility and a laboratory for our students, though. Dean Hanrahan and Dr. Purcell's vision is to open our doors to all qualified personnel and agencies to practice life safety skills. Currently, agencies in our region have to travel many hours, oftentimes out of state, to utilize a facility like this one that we're building here. This is the next step in a long process to make this facility a functioning, vibrant training ground. And it is a step that would not have been possible without the investment of the Delta Regional Authority and its federal co-chairman, Chris Caldwell. I'm so thankful for Chairman Caldwell's vision. His vision sees that the creation of this training area located near Imboden and Walnut Ridge will have huge economic impacts on the region as well. The direct impact to Imboden and Walnut Ridge as those state and local agencies travel here, purchase fuel, food, and supplies while they are training will be immeasurable. We see another indirect impact because those Delta region agencies will save time and travel costs coming to A-State's disaster facility rather than traveling hundreds of miles away. So on behalf of Arkansas State University, our College of Nursing and Health Professions, and our Regional Safe Center, we want to thank the Delta Regional Authority and introduce Chairman Caldwell now to say a few words. Chairman Caldwell.
Thank you, Dr. Danfus. And I appreciate, we had a little bit of, thank you. I'm going to take these off. Here, let's do that real quick. Mind holding that? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Higginbotham. We had a little weather delay. It has been a little wet in the last year. Matter of fact, we did the groundbreaking. We did it on tile floor back at the was it the Beck Center or somewhere on campus, I believe. But you got along really fast. I would not, nor anybody else here would have minded if we'd have finished this in late October and done this. I'm just going to say, which, I applaud you for keeping the jacket on. I pulled up and saw Gene Higginbotham from Senator Bozeman's office. It's like, great, he didn't have a jacket on. I'm not going to do it. So, first off, thank y'all so much for having me back. This is great to see, and not to beat a dead horse, but those indirect benefits that Dr. Dampus just talked about are huge, especially when at DRA we're looking at these projects. Obviously, the resiliency and the ability for our local sheriff's offices and search and rescues to be able to have this resource right here and not have to travel far enhances the infrastructure, the critical infrastructure of this area. But furthermore, up in the Boot Hill, Southern Illinois, Western Kentucky, we're a stone's throw away. That does provide economic benefit to the area when those men and women come here to train, but also the savings that it presents them, as you so eloquently pointed out. But more than that, this right here is a project that will put this region of Northeast Arkansas, not that we're catching up from where we should have been and having a facility like this to provide this resource to our local offices, but that we're leading and we are setting a pace for providing these services. Because as this grows, and this is, as we talked about when we did the groundbreaking, this is a phase. But as we grow this and enhance these assets, as they will aid in economic development of the area and the resources that the public infrastructure already has and the resources that law enforcement and rescue areas have when we go and are looking to bring in new industry enhanced. So I'm very excited about the future of that. And so I'm very proud of DRA's investment of that, which would not be possible without your congressional delegation. So Jeff's back here with Senator Cotton, Mitchell's back here with Congressman Crawford, Gene Higginbotham with Senator Bozeman's office. And through their support of the DRA, and we're able, in appropriations, we're able to make this here possible. And for those of you that don't know, and I do this a lot, between delivering bad news, I feel like, and then going to celebrate good news, you have your entire federal delegation here, and that is unique. And so thank those guys. Get to know these guys because they will be an asset to all of your agencies. You probably do know them all because I know 3 of them, and I know their bosses, and they're out here all the time, and I know these guys travel as well. Matter of fact, last time I was with Jeff, with you, Judge, in your truck just down the road in Black Rock. So thank you for having me. I'm so excited that this first step is completed and more excited for what's to come, and wish A-State all the best. Thank you.
So, Chris, thank you very much. He introduced the whole federal delegation. Guys, raise your hand because that was one thing that I was going to do. So here are the 3 people he's talking about that if you don't know them, go and have a conversation with them. But we do want to thank DRA. DRA provided us about $150,000 plus to build this pavilion. And as he noted, this is the first in a phase, we hope, of many things to come for this property in particular. And if we're going to have some of these out, and it's going to talk about some of the different types of training that we may start with and have and are on the horizon and plan. And of course, you can build your own classes and everything too. But because we have water close by, and there's a lot of water in this region, not necessarily in the last few weeks, but there are at different times throughout the year, water rescue training for first responders is kind of a big deal. So I'm going to say that nobody knows the potential impact of this facility better than our director of the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management, AJ Gary, who is with us today, and I'd like to bring him up to provide some remarks for this occasion. AJ?
Well, good afternoon. I appreciate the invitation to be here. A couple things that I wanted to touch on kind of from the state perspective, and especially as I look around the room here. But, our disasters in our nation, they're becoming more frequent. They're certainly becoming more costly. And we depend on the local agencies, the city and counties, those local first responders to respond to and work these disasters when they happen. Because what we always say at Adam is, disasters are local. They happen at the local level. And the state's portion of that is to be able to make sure that the state local have those resources that they need during a time of disaster. So from a training and from an exercise standpoint, I mean, this is great, and hats off to ASU for taking the lead on this. And putting this facility together so that we can get the training that we need to our local first responders so we could better respond to those disasters when they happen. And this is going to be a great, first step in that. I mean, this is going to be amazing as what's taking place here and as we see it through in the future. The other thing is those partnerships. And as I look around this group and I see our congressional delegates, our county judge, our city mayor, our local fire departments, Black River Tech just down the road from our training facilities, all of that working together. And what it reminded me of is the last couple of disasters that we had. And I was specifically going to focus on the Arkansas River flooding because that was a major record-breaking flooding that we had, impacted 13 counties along the river, just that particular part of the disaster. And what's really amazing here in Arkansas is how well everybody worked together for that. We did coordination calls every day through that 2-week event. We had all of our county officials, city officials working together, coming on those calls, talking about what the need was. And as the floodwaters reached into Sebastian County and we started those calls, our friends, our colleagues on down the river were calling in so that we knew what resources were not only needed right then, but what would be needed a day or two down the road. And I know I worked with the county judge quite a bit, and they're great in this area about working together in those partnerships. And we were able to respond quickly to the needs of the local jurisdictions during that flood. And we see that throughout the events that we have. So to me, what is really great is, again, to see all these different agencies, all these organizations working together. And we're going to see that more and more as this facility continues to grow, and we're bringing those different groups in, those different agencies in to work together. We're going to be able to better respond to the needs here in Arkansas, and as this grows, to the needs in our neighboring states and that. So again, just proud to be here, proud to be a part of this. Thanks again to ASU for y'all taking the lead on this, and it's going to be exciting to see where we go from here. So thank you.
Thanks, AJ. A couple of other people, Tanya Hess just happened to be in the neighborhood, so she stopped by from AEDC, so we're glad she's here today. And Jim Wilkerson from the Earthquake Consortium. Jim, where'd you go? Right in front and center, so thanks. And there are probably others here, too, from the state, and I apologize if I'm missing a lot of people, but a lot of people came, so we're thankful for that. The next group that I want to introduce are some of our state representatives, and I know Fran Kavanaugh is here, did Blake Johnson get here? But I want to bring Fran up for some words, and you can say what Blake's going to say anyway. So Fran can talk for anybody, so thanks for being here.
So glad to be here, and if Blake were here, he'd say congratulations. He's glad that we're making this first step because it's going to be very vitally important to the area. Not only about economics, but also about training for our own people so that they'll have a place where they don't have to go off to train. But for me, I have a memory, and it doesn't seem that long ago that Charles Snap and I were in a room with the committee presenting 2 locations in Lawrence County that we thought would be a great fit for the disaster training. And to our surprise, although we knew both had attributes that they could use for either portion of their training, they decided they liked both. Charles and I left that meeting looking at each other in disbelief, thinking, we can't believe that they like both and they're considering both. And so for me, this is heartwarming that we're actually beginning to see fruition of what we started that long time ago. Because things don't happen overnight when you're dealing with economic development and different things. So it's got a tail on it. So to be able to present it, to be able to see the enthusiasm that ASU had for it, and then to actually see it starting to happen. For me, as a state representative, that's why I'm here. That's what I do. And so it's just heartwarming. I'm glad ASU believed in us. I'm glad that you took the time to listen to Charles and I so that we could do our pitch and so we could tell you what Lawrence County had to offer you. And I'm just glad that you're here. Thank you.
Yes, Fran was there from the get-go, and Mayor Snap also. So I was going to introduce you later, but since you're out here now, so we might as well recognize you. And as I told you the other night when I saw you in Jonesboro, you're next. We're starting here. We've got some money to start here, but we'll just keep moving your direction. So thanks for all your work on this. So Imboden, that's where we're at. We've got a lot of people from Imboden here today, but two people that I want to call up. Judge Thomason, County Judge Thomason has been mentioned already, and then our mayor, Chris Jones, is here too from Imboden. So if both of you will come up and say a few words, that would be great. Thanks.
I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome everybody in Lawrence County. We're proud you're here. We're obviously proud of our facility and all of our people. I will take the opportunity right now to tell you that I am a quasi-Imbodenite. I spent 33 years here teaching in the school system, and it has made me what I am. I appreciate these folks, but all of Lawrence County. And Fran did an excellent job, obviously, of as I was telling Jean Higginbotham, everybody says what you're thinking, but I wanted to thank her and Mayor Snap, and to also recognize and remember former late Judge Dale Freeman and his contributions to these things. And then, of course, we want to thank the Delta Regional and Chris Caldwell, and we want to our congressional delegations. Guys, they probably tired of me. When they see me start talking, they duck and whatnot, but I appreciate them. They have helped me so much. They help our county, and the thing of it is, all these folks that are helping us work this hard statewide all the time. And Director Gary, I can't say enough good about him. Of course, we had our incident 2 years ago. And so I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to welcome you. We're exceedingly pleased to have ASU in this opportunity. Thank y'all for coming. We are here to help you in any way we can. Thank you.
I'm just going to be quick. Got a few people I want to thank individually. Everybody else has covered everything else pretty good. I want to thank Mayor Snap and Fire Chief Frank Owens from Walnut Ridge. If it wasn't been for them, ASU wouldn't have known about us, I don't think, up here anyways. So I want to thank them. I want to thank ASU for following their lead and coming to talk to us. I've got a few council members here. I want to thank them for supporting this. We've got our fire chief, our public works director, recorder treasurer. She writes the checks. Retired recorder treasurer. Have I missed anybody from Imboden? Thank y'all for supporting this, and I look forward to the future. Thanks.
Okay, just a few more names to throw out here. There's a lot of people here from Black River Technical College. If you'll wave your hands, they're one of our partners here too on this project, and I think we're all really excited about opportunities that we can have in this space for educational purposes. So thanks for showing up and being here today. The person who is in charge of the pavilion, our general contractor was Baldwin Shell, and Rick Terry is here today. Rick, thank you. And Kyle from Brackett and Krennerich was the architect, so they're here. Thank you for the shade. We appreciate it. Robert Stallings worked with us from Entergy on bringing electricity to the pavilion, but like with everything, the roads were delayed because of the weather, the pavilion was delayed because of the weather, and I think the same for our electricity. Thank goodness for the generators. So we thank you for Entergy. Let's see, who's here today? Matt Ferris is here today that I met, so thanks, Matt. Let's see, who else? I know that we may have some of the advisory board members for the disaster facilities in attendance, and we thank you because you're the ones that have worked with us all along on making all of this happen. We are continuing to work with subject matter experts for things like water rescue and energy, and so we couldn't do it without these key people. I met some people from the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, and they're here today, so thanks to them, and again, to everybody for all their work. From Arkansas State, let me just thank our ROTC cadets, who many of us would not have been here had they not directed us down the correct county road that we needed to get here. Petrie and his staff from Physical Facilities, again, made a lot of this happen. Bill Smith and his team from University Communications, and our disaster preparedness emergency medicine or disaster preparedness emergency management faculty. So I know I've missed people, but I just want to again thank everybody for coming today. Our real purpose is to cut the ribbon. I think we're going to do it in front of the pavilion where the DRA sign is. So if everybody will kind of move back a little bit, we'll get the ribbon ready and do our cutting. Thank you.